Bro, we got LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, and Dwayne Wade right now.
They really might be. Yo, is Tate, Quincy, and Jake really the LeBron, Carmelo, and Dwayne Wade of track and field right now? That's what it kind of feels like. Which performance to you was more impressive? Melissa's 1075 or Kenny Bednarik's 976?
Kenny's 976 to me. It felt like a statement.
So from here on out, I don't want to hear anyone's excuse of the season's too early. We can't be running fast at this point. I saw people drop in 19s and I'm seeing people drop 9-second 100. So I don't want to hear none of that. It's too early crap anymore. The time is now. Step it up. Welcome back. Another episode of Track World News Podcast. I'm your host, Colin Waitsman, here with our esteemed co-host, Mr. Noah Williams. Noah, how you doing today, brother?
Hey, blessed and highly favored, bro. As always, ready to talk some more track. I'm feeling good, though. I see you got a little tan, bro. What's going on over there, man?
Yeah, a little bit. That's partially the reason we're coming out with a later episode. So thanks for being flexible. I was out in Arizona, like Phoenix, Scottsdale area, and so we were there, kind of little guys trip. We tried recording. I promise, we tried, and my Wi-Fi was some booty cheeks. So we were like, we can't give y'all that bad quality, so we just gonna have to wait till I get back. So it was a lot of fun though. If anyone has the chance to get to like Scottsdale area, the area is awesome. There's a ton of stuff to do, a lot of cool things. So a lot of fun. Had a good time, man.
That's good, bro. I love that for you, man. But yeah, that tan is definitely prevalent right now, for sure.
Yeah, a little bit. We were outside a decent amount, so it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Have you been able to do any vacations, or I know because you just kind of getting things picking up, so I don't know how that works for you this year.
Nah, man, I'm pretty grounded where I'm at. I'm where my feet are right now. Down here in Florida still.
There you go. Good stuff. Well, hopefully we'll be able to get some after the season. Maybe find a nice place out or whatever it might be. Nice little trip. Any places you want to go to? Any on your bucket list of like countries, cities, whatever?
Yeah, bro. I'm actually trying to get to Egypt. I can't lie. Out of all of like world history, I'm most fascinated with the pyramids of Egypt. It's pretty fascinating to me. So I want to get out there, bro, for sure. Love to my homie Hisham, bro. If you watching the show, Hisham, shout out to you, brother. But yeah, what about yourself though, bro?
Yeah. For me, I really want to go to like Australia, probably. I like I don't know. I think it just seems like a really cool place to go. My mom went to New Zealand and she said that place was awesome, and she was in Australia a little bit as well. So I probably want to go there. That's something that I'd want to go to. That's on my bucket list. So
Okay.
not bad.
Yeah. Track world news off the track, bro. Hey, I know we got fans in Australia. I know we got fans in Egypt. Y'all got to put us up out there, a little trip. We'll do it right. We'll do it big.
There you go. Yo, a little fan meetup. Let me know where y'all at. We'll get a little something going. So not a bad idea. Off the track world news. There we are. Cool, man. But a lot of good stuff going on this week in track and field. We had our Grand Slam going on, some crazy times dropping by these high school kids. Trackflation just keeps getting more and more egregious, and a couple other good things we wanted to start off. But I know, Noah, you had a good topic to start us off with within the Grand Slam side of things. So why don't you get us rolling there?
Yeah, of course, man. Grand Slam Miami is a wrap on that. They sold out the meet again. From the viewer perspective, I thought it was great meet. But I wanted to start off with the men's long sprints in the 400 meters with Ja'Cory Patterson winning in 43.98 and joining the 43 club and making a huge statement for himself. I think by now the story is kind of out how he's working a job at UPS and also pursuing his career in track and field. And he's a great athlete. He's been in the mix for the past 3 years now, 4 years, I would say. So to see him go out there and get a dub like that and show dominance, show the dog in him, despite the sacrifice he's got to make, that's what I wanted to come on here and highlight that first, because I thought that was really just special, and it kind of took my attention for the weekend. It was just on that, and I thought that was super dope. So I'm happy for him, man. Shout out to Ja'Cory.
Yeah, no, that's a big time. Do you know what was his personal best before that? Like how much, I wonder, like how much did he drop that his PR, but like massive time for him, in the world lead. I think he's been, I don't know, not one of the the premier big time names in the recent history of like who's dominating within the 400, and now to insert himself into that conversation here, which I think he definitely does, is big. Like it's I know that I'll see him in the starting lines a bunch, but now to be, oh yeah, you're a lane 1, lane 8 guy, just you're in there too. Oh no, you're the real deal. Like you're going, you can contend for a lot of these teams and stuff like that. I think it's a pretty big step up. Do you have any breakdown, like from a technique perspective of, hey, how you saw that race kind of unfolding?
Yeah, so Ja'Cory ran a 43, not in the way that you would see a 43 be run in 2024, 2025. A lot of guys now, they like to front load their 400s, and they'll come through in 20.8, 20.7, 20.9, especially in championship races. But I believe Ja'Cory came through in like 21.5, maybe even slower. Jareen came through 21.3, I think. It was a pretty balanced race through 200, but he closed in what I want to say was 11.68 or 11.82. It was sub 12. And if you're an elite 400-meter runner, you're running 12.3 or faster. You're running sub 12.3. If you really want to run a historic time, you have to be in the 11s. So body position wise, around 120, it's his arms look different than everybody else's. Like he just looked like he was driving more with his arms than everybody else. And he got to 100. It almost seemed like that's where the race started for him. That drive that he had probably from 120 till about 60 left in the race, it was special. The momentum that he carried through that turn onto the straight is really, really hard to do. It comes down to basically body position, fitness, and carrying your momentum. It's a full breakdown. That's for a whole another episode, but that's really what I saw more than anything. But yeah, closing in sub 12, man, this early in the season, that dude is fit. Like that is very difficult to do at any time of the year. So for him to do it the first weekend in May makes it even crazier.
Yeah, I mean, this is a crazy big jump for him. Like, so I just took a look at what his personal bests were and everything going on here. So, take a guess. What do you think his personal best was before this? So he ran a 43.98. What do you think was his personal best before this race?
Ja'Cory, I feel like has ran a 44.2. Something tells me he's run 44.2 in the past.
44.81.
Wow. When was that, by the way?
That was 2021.
Right. So I think I don't want to say I was in a race with him, but I remember around this time.
2021 Florida Relays. Does that sound
okay? I didn't run. I didn't know I wasn't there, but I remember this time being put on the board at this time.
Yeah. So he dropped dang near a second. And to go, and so this is his most recent races. So that 40 or most recent years, like best races in the years. 44.81 was 2021. In 2022, 45.12. 2023, 45.05. 2024, 45.02. So he's been a 45.0 guy, 45.1 guy for most of his recent career, and then dropping this to a 43.98. Like you're in a new tax bracket, man. Like you're in a new area. Now, what he had all of these bests, three of these times have all came in Florida at this, and so he's done well on U.S. soil. Now, I mean, this time you're going to be getting into some more of those international meets now, I'm sure, and so it's how's that going to translate on the international circuit as you potentially get ready for a Team USA and so on and so forth. But if this opens up a lot of doors for him, hearing UPS guy, we have Dylan Beard who's talks about he's working at Walmart. Like, I mean, shoot, I'm working at a regular 9 to 5 right now. This is my work fit that I got on currently. I literally just got home. And I could not imagine okay, go and run 300s right now and then do a lift. I'd be like, nah, that's cooked. I could not imagine doing that. So all the best to him, man. That's crazy.
That bro, Ja'Cory's been a very talented athlete for a pretty good amount of time. I remember him at Virginia Tech running the 44s, running 20-point lows, transferring to Florida, and I expected him to kind of win NCAAs. And they kind of made him a bit of a 200 runner. So to see him transfer back to the 4, it's just special, bro. I'm happy. I was glad you brought those stats up. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I mean, to go down to get 43.98 first time. Do you know where he's training out of? I don't know if you're.
He's training with Coach Francique. I think they train in South Carolina or Florida. I know Bowling's in that group. Karima Davis is in that group. There's another person there. Fred was there, but yeah, that's the group now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So nice little group there. So good stuff. But dang, that's a big, dang near a second drop off a PR at this level. Like you don't that doesn't come too easily, man. That's impressive. That's impressive.
Yeah, that's all.
Hands off, bro. Why not? Why not? So then we had a couple other great things coming out of I guess 200, but just out of Grand Slam. I would say this is the first. This is like everyone's coming out party, I guess you'd say. Like this is the first week where times are not slow and we're seeing real deal times being dropped. So from here on out, I don't want to hear anyone's excuse of the season's too early. We can't be running fast at this point. I saw people drop in 19s and I'm seeing people drop, 9-second, 100. So I don't want to hear none of that. It's too early crap anymore. Like, nah, the time is now. Step it up because we got Jareem Richards dropping a 19. Was it 1986? On them cats in the 200, and then I know Alexander Ogandu, I think that's how you pronounce it, was I think a 1988, like right there. It was pressing up on him. So, I mean, you seeing the training, you seeing how things are going. Like, was this a surprise to you, seeing this drop, or how'd that go down?
Not one bit, bro. I knew Dream had a 19 in the tank. It was just a matter of when he wanted to decide to do it. I thought he was actually going to run 19 at the first Grand Slam, but he just ran 10-1 in the 100 the previous week. So it was kind of, a foregone conclusion. As long as he executed, he would run 19. I'm really excited for him this year because this is the quickest I've ever seen him. As far as turnover goes, his turnover rate's quicker than I've ever seen it, and it's visible in training and in races. So I don't think 1986 is going to be the end for this year for Dream at all.
Yeah, that was nice, man. I'm wondering. I mean, I know he does the 4 and he's going to the 4 and the 2, I'm sure, at the World Championship. Which one do you think would be he has the better chance at medaling in at this point?
The 400, no question. I think Jareem has the talent to win the 400 this year. He got 4th last year. He just broke into 43 for the first time last year. And I think he's the fastest person out of the entire 400 group as far as top end speed, 100 meter, 200 meter speed. And for that reason, I got to give him an absolute chance to win a world championship this year in the 4 if he decides to do so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's some crazy speed, bro. Like you don't see that those 19s in there, especially in the 400 guys. And I mean, looking at where it is, I mean, we'll see what's going on with Quincy Hall. I know he's no longer doing Grand Slam, but I see he's running in Diamond League stuff. So I wonder what happened there. If it's whether that was an injury thing or a contract thing, I don't know, but that was kind of interesting to see. Stephen Gardner went down. We saw that in this race. So, I mean, those are some people that you go up against. And of course he's beaten the other people that are medalists in this field. So he's got a good position, man. And I think that 200 going to be, you'd have to run like a 19.5, 19.6 to really get in the mix for medal in there, and that's I don't know about that. That might be a little crazy.
Yeah, it's a deep field in the 2, a very elite field in the 2 in the 400 over the last 6 years or so has been pretty open. We're not seeing too many repeat champions in the 400. I think Stephen Gardner was the last one, unless I'm mistaken, but I don't believe that I am.
That sounds accurate. Yeah, I think so. And then,
yeah.
I mean, since then he hasn't been able to do it yet. I know he's been troubling with some injuries with it. So I mean, it's hard to go back to back in these things. Like in the 400, like I feel like it obviously puts a big toll on your body, like each year, like of just how fast you're running and for how long the actual distance is. So it seems like it's been a hard repeat for people, but I guess we'll see.
Absolutely.
I mean, we got to get to your your short hurdles. You know, your short hurdles guy, and you kind of were calling how this was going to be a good event. We had Masai Russell dropping an American record 12:17 in the 100-meter hurdles, and then I think Tia Jones as well 12:19 right behind her. Um, can we see this world record go down? And if so, what do you think she could end up running?
Dude, we absolutely can see this world record going down. And the thing is, with these women, Tia and Masai specifically, I didn't see this for them. So at this point, there's no cap on what they could potentially do, how fast they could potentially go. They're both incredible. They're both really hungry. They run incredibly well. They have their own little styles, each one of them. But yeah, dude, I'd say the world record is we're on world record watch now, probably for every meet for the rest of the year.
And they line up all the time. We bring this up every time we talk about the women's 100 hurdles, but they're always lining up. And so when you in the current world record holder, you know, being in the field now, like she's still running. And I mean, even the previous world record holder, you know, Kenny is still you know, running. Like you've got all like the top five like fastest women of like all time in this sport are all competing right now. Like, you know, it's crazy how that event, I think the 100 or the 400-meter hurdles on the men, like you have the three fastest men of all time. Like it's wild that there's so many events that have literally the fastest people to ever do it all running at this exact same time. Like,
Yeah, that's a fact, bro. So, hey, early prediction. Do you have a world champion prediction for the hurdles this year? The short hurdles for the women?
100 hurdles. I mean, with just the consistency that she has had, I feel like Masai Russell has been the most consistent that we've gone through, which is so interesting because I'm sure if we go back to podcasts that I was doing 2 years ago, if I told myself 2 years ago that Masai Russell has been the most you know, consistent hurdler, I would probably have laughed in your face. Like she was known for having strong races and then falling off after that, or not doing it in the championship. Like she hadn't won the national championship. And for me to now completely change things, like that shows how she's grown as a racer, as an individual, as a person, and like that's massive. Like that doesn't go understated. Of where it was at one point a question mark, I think, on her career and on her resume, and now it's become one of her biggest strengths, which is you know, kudos to her. It's impressive.
Yeah, shout out to Masai, bro. I'm a big fan of Masai. I actually saw her. She came to a track meet in Orlando, super random. It's like a spring break meet. I think she helps coach with Kentucky, and they were there, so she was at the meet. But it's cool, man. I think Masai is a good person in the sport for sure.
So then who do you got for early worlds predictions?
Hmm. Uh Tia gonna take her lumps early. I'll say Tia gonna win. If you gonna take Masai, I can't just be taking the same person as you. So I'm gonna take Tia.
Tia Jones. Okay. All right. All right. So Jasmine Camacho Quinn, she ain't gonna be on there. No,
Not
no
this year.
taking.
I'm rolling with the American girls, man. Not this year.
All right. There you go. Sticking
Yeah.
with the USA. I mean, there's a lot of talent there. I mean, that'll be good. That's gonna be a good rundown. So excited for that, man. Excited for that. Sticking on, like, I guess the women's side of things. I mean, in the Grand Slam, we had Melissa Jefferson with her just crazy fast time. What, 10:75? It was 2.4. I mean, shoot, it's crazy. Both 100-meter runners ran within the exact like 1 second of each other because Kenny ran a 9:76, and we got Melissa who ran a 10:75. Both crazy fast times and just a little bit too much wind. Would have loved to see just it hold off for just a little bit. But both perform. Which performance to you was more impressive? Melissa's 10:75 or Kenny Bednarek's 9:76?
Kenny's 976 to me. It felt like a statement. And no shade or no smut to Melissa because running 1075 is fucking crazy and historic, even if it was a 2.4. But being at the field that Kenny's in, it's so tense between those guys, and I don't think they really like each other much. So for him to drop that time, even if it was windy, I think that was a big statement at this time of the year for sure.
I I agree. I mean, I think that there's a certain, like you had mentioned, there's a certain level of tenseness that's going on right now in the men's 100. Like, I know Coleman had a couple like some back and forths and mentioned how he doesn't like Noah and everything, and Trayvon Burmel not verbally mentioned it, at least out loud. You know, there's been some rumors, I guess, and I remember back to the 60 at Milrose when he beat him and waved him off. You know, Fred literally coming out on a podcast saying that he don't like Noah and that they don't get along with each other. And it seems like Kenny's kind of in the middle of this as a guy that everyone says how consistent he is, but nobody is, I think, from the media perspective and from the fan perspective, nobody has really respected him as a potential champion. As it's been, hey, you're going to be there, you're going to be a finalist, and you're going to be close to medaling, but nobody's ever really given him that respect to win in Olympics or win a world championships. And I feel this 976 says, nah, bump all that. I'm here and y'all gonna give me the respect that I deserve. And I'm here for it. Like it's a big time and it's against some big time people. So I thought it was a big performance for him.
Absolutely, bro. Hey, keep going, Kenny. We fans over here, man. We support you over here. So that was dope to see. He's putting his hat in the mix a little bit more for the 100. We're not more so looking at him as just a 200 guy. So it's special stuff going on for Kenny Bednarik right now, bro.
And going home with now he's got 200 bands, bro. Like, sheesh, that's got to be feeling pretty good. Of hey, you're dropping some of the fastest times in the world, and you back to back Grand Slam champions come home with 200K, and it's only about a couple hour drive right back up to home. So you ain't even got to go that far. Like it's gotta be pretty nice, man. It's gotta be pretty nice.
Absolutely. Hey, I'll spend a little extra day in Miami if I was Kenny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Take a little day out there, man. Get yourself a
Take a
nice little
little
dinner.
day out there,
There you
man.
go. So overall, I think great performances and exciting from Grand Slam. I mean, so this was the first time, and so I guess taking it outside of just the performances, but this was the first time that we saw Grand Slam track going head to head against the Diamond League. Now it's head to head, but it wasn't really because Diamond League was in China and way early in the morning, and Grand Slam was in the afternoon, at least here in the United States. Um, and well, before I get into what my opinion is of how I think this all went out, what do you think? Your perspective, seeing hey they finally went head to head. If you had to say who's coming out on top after both of these meets of notoriety, what would you say?
Grand Slam to shitting on the Diamond League. That's what I think. As far as reception, as far as visibility, as far as performance, as far as star power, Grand Slam won every single one of them categories I just listed. And the time slot is more sensible for American fans. I can't. I live in America. I can't speak for somebody that lives in England or Dubai. None of that. But in America, I know that it was more visible. And TT Terry, who was in China, even tweeted, "I'm at this restaurant in China and they're playing the Grand Slam meet on the TV in China." I think that speaks volumes. But I don't. Maybe I'm crazy. What you think, bro?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I mean, I think it's a combination of a few things. That one, like here in the United, it's the time slot being the United States, it was dominating track Twitter. The only thing that I saw about the Diamond League was Cordell Tinch in his race that he had. That was it. I didn't see anything else from that Diamond League
I
meet.
saw Navia is 200. I did
Anavia?
see that.
Okay, yeah. So Anavia. So then the two things. Sorry, my bad. Two things that there were from an entire Diamond League, Anavia battle and Cordell Finch. Pretty much it. Big performances, and not even that. Like even here the with Grand Slam, there were performances that were not like extraordinarily stellar, but still got a lot more play. Like we have Trey Cunningham running a 10-1 and people talking about that. And we're not hearing nothing about the men's 100 that's happening over in the Diamond League. And I think another reason of like, look, I get it. You need to, as a company, you're looking to get your money. And I understand that. but having it go to Flow Track was a difficult pill for them to swallow because you just made it more difficult for people to watch. Now, yes, I get like it's a business model and they clearly wanted that. And I'm sure they gave them more money and it probably was a financial decision for them to do it. And so, if what is most important to you is the financial implications, which it's a business, I understand, then great. You probably came out on top. You did what's best for your company. But for your fans to watch it, like it's an L because you went from something that is $4 or $5 a month to something that's $25 a month. Of course, you're not going to get the same amount of people that are watching it. And right now, like FlowTrack isn't in the best of eyes from people. People don't really mess with it right now. And so if that's okay with you and you're like, hey, we're going to have less people watch, then you reached your goals. But if your goal was, hey, we want to have the most amount of people to watch the Diamond League, then you're doing the inherently worst thing for you to do. So, yeah, I think they've taken their lunch money right now, and I'm wondering how Diamond League's going to respond in the next few years. I mean, obviously this contract is probably a couple of years long, so we're going to see it happen a while, but I don't know. I'm not sure if it's going to work out long term.
We shall see, bro. I think it's crazy that the Diamond League hosted Quincy Hall, the 400-meter champion at the Olympics, and I didn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the most 100% locked in on every track meet and everything that's going on. Our fans in the comments will remind me of that.
A lot of times.
But I am very aware of what's going on. I try to be up on what's going on in the sport. And for me to not know that Quincy is running in China, I don't think that's a big of an indictment on me as it is on the meet itself and not paying for the ads and the promotion and the marketing that Grand Slam is obviously doing. I have it all over my Twitter algorithm, my Instagram algorithm. I don't got Facebook no more for real, but I'm sure it's on Facebook too. People walking by billboards and everything. So it's not a competition right now, bro. Michael Johnson shitting on them. And I love it because if people were trying to hate on Grand Slam and they can't.
I feel you. Like it was people talk about all like, oh, it's not gonna work out. Your stands are empty. How to sell out. You know, I know there's less tickets and like I get it. The stadium's smaller. I get it.
Yeah.
But like it's still a sellout. Like you taking the right steps. Now what will be interesting, I'm like Philly is going to be a big one because Franklin Field is huge. And so I'm going to have boots on the ground. I'll be able to let you know. That's going to be a real test. Like how you do in Philly is going to be a real test. And so to do that, and plus F1 was happening in Miami literally that same day. So they did all that and they had literally the biggest event in Miami sports for the entire summer happening at the exact same time. We saw Noah and Anna Hall were there. So it's like, you know, they got big time people that are there. So it's I'm looking forward to it. It's a good kind of debate. See how it forces their hands to this new stuff.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Good talking point with that topic though, for sure.
For sure. Then we got to talk more about it. It seems every week these high school kids are getting faster and faster. Did you see this Tate Taylor guy run?
Is that the 9-second guy?
Yes. This dude, Tate Taylor. So he holds the national record for the indoor 200 meters with a 20.46. He now also holds the 100 meter national record with a time of 9.92. And he also ran the third fastest time ever in the 200 with a time of 20.14 right after he ran this race. Oh, and by the way, he's just a junior. This is crazy. This junior class with just Tate Taylor, they have Tate Taylor. They also have Quincy Wilson, and they also have Jake Odie. That junior class is crazy, bro. Like that is insane. Yeah, Jake Odie Jordan. Yeah, junior class is Jake Odie Jordan, Tate Taylor, and Quincy Wilson. 3 of the fastest high schoolers we've ever seen in this sport. Ridiculous. That is crazy times that this kid just dropped.
Bro, we got LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, and Dwayne Wade right now. It's crazy.
They really might be. Yo, is Tate Quincy and Jake really the LeBron, Carmelo, and Dwayne Wade of track and field right now. That's what it kind of feels like. It's class of 2003, NBA class of 2003. That's nuts. And did you see that high school? It must be so demoralizing to be a high school 100-meter runner in the state of Texas. They can, if you ran a 10-2, 10-2 would have won pretty much, will win every state championship pretty much if you run the 100. You get sixth place if you're in Texas. 10-2 came in sixth in the state of Texas in a high school championship. That is crazy. What would have 10-2 got you at like the SEC championship? Are you in the final at 10-2? Oh no, I'm not sure.
Maybe fringe finalist in the SEC. Yeah,
that's crazy. You might be a finalist in the SEC, but you're coming in sixth in a high school state championship.
Like, crazy, bro.
That's nuts. That's nuts. So, trackflation is real, and I don't. So, with this, I guess with these crazy high school times, do we think that this 100-meter world record will eventually go down sooner rather than later? Because I mean, while like these high schoolers are getting faster and faster, and so if you're running 9.92 now, we saw Braden Williams run a 9.82. Yes, there was a monsoon of wind behind him, but I mean, Usain Bolt wasn't running these times at high school. He wasn't running the 100. I feel like eventually it's going to catch up. And while there's got one of these high schoolers, I feel eventually when they're in their mid 20s will run these times. I mean, do you think that 9.58 could be going down at any point here?
Obviously, records are made to be broken, so I would never count that out. But when it comes to these new teenage sensations, this trackflation, I like that term, by the way. I'm a proponent of steady progression, consistent progression, and stacking progression from season on to season on to season. I think that's something that would prepare the body to last and withstand for a long time. That would lead to a 9.5 like Bolt did. But when I see, and I need to track this Tate kid's progression, but if he was a 11.2 guy and then a 10.1 guy, now all of a sudden he's a 9-second guy, that's a little bit concerning for me when I think about the longevity of this kid's career, because his body, his central nervous system has never felt what he's feeling right now, if that's the case. And we use the word burnout a lot in our sport. Will the kid get burnt out? Will his body get burnt out? Will his brain just be fried? He doesn't want to do this shit anymore. That's more of the concern that I have with these young kids. I don't want to put an expectation of 9.5 on them since they're running, 9.9 in high school, but the possibility's there. I would never count that out, but I can't crown these kids next world record holders quite yet.
Okay. Yeah, it's I definitely hear where it's coming from of like, hey, you're like, track and field has an obsession with prodigies. It's interesting. I'm actually trying to make a video going over that, but yeah, track and field loves prodigies in the sport. Last year he ran a 10.2 into a 1.2 headwind. So that's a sophomore in high school. So we got a couple little bit of times underneath his belt. But like it's interesting how it's always what's the next best thing, and then very quickly people will forget about you and throw you to the side and just like not care. And it's interesting how much we do that with our sport. And but I mean, there's a lot of great competition right now, a lot of great young cats running really fast. So I'd like to see it, but that 9.58 ain't no joke, man. That's moving. That's moving, bro.
Absolutely. And I'm all for the progression of the sport. I think this, obviously, talent is getting better, but coaching, high school level coaching is getting way better too. They're getting access to more resources, more information. These coaching conventions are bigger than I think they ever were. My college coaches used to host some, and they used to go speak at these conventions where high schooler coaches are coming and just gaining so much information. So I'm for it, man. It's growing the sport. It's making it better, more competitive. So I'm a fan.
Yeah, high school track coaches aren't just your like biology teachers anymore. Like, nah, they got some good stuff to them now, man. Like people taking it seriously right now.
True story, bro. From high school. Now, shout out to Coach Bray, Coach Stu. They took care of me when I became an upperclassman. But my freshman year of high school, it was when I started running track, and the track coach was the music teacher. Right. Her name now. God bless her heart, because she was a great lady. But her name was Danielle Franciselli, and she was a music teacher. I don't believe she ever ran track, and she left in the middle of the year. She was pregnant, so we really just didn't have a coach. She would kind of like text the seniors, "This is what y'all got today." I don't know how everything else got sorted out, but that was kind of the resources that we had, and that wasn't even 10 years ago at this point. Maybe right about 10 years ago. So that it's not the same, bro. These kids is getting some real legitimate training from 13, 14, 15, 16 years old.
Yeah, it's impressive, and the more people taking it seriously, I mean, the more these times going to keep stacking up. So
Yeah,
they're not just getting that must have been crazy. So what would you do at practice freshman year, like second half?
bro. So we practice at the same time as the lacrosse team. So, and a lot of my friends was on the lacrosse team. So I would go play lacrosse, a little like fuck around, dick around with the lacrosse stick, shoot it to the goal. We'll go on like a 2 mile run. I remember going on those little 2 mile runs around the school neighborhood.
And that was what you were doing. Did you run well at all freshman year?
I ran, I think I want to say my PBs as a freshman in high school was like 51 flat, 23 something in the two, and like 11 flat, like
So
11
just
in the
straight talent. It was
It
not
was
the
just
practice
fun.
that
It
you were
was just
doing. Yeah.
racing. It was just fun.
Yeah, there you go. That's crazy that you would have had that. Um, I guess one last high school trackflation time or things that we had. Got to take it to my Philly Bowl. Jaden Horton Mims, upset of the year for a high schooler, running 45-24, taking down Olympic gold medalist Quincy Wilson in the 4. This was his revenge race, because same time last year Quincy beat him, and so now he beats Quincy right now, and which is, in the state of how high school track and field is right now, unfortunately probably going to be the last time we see them compete against each other for probably a while, because Jaden Horton Mims is going to be going to Nike Nationals because he's a Nike Elite NIL athlete, and Quincy is a New Balance athlete, so he's going to be going to New Balance Nationals. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see these two go back against each other, and probably not going to see, unless Jaden Horton Mims does 2 years of college, which is possible. He definitely could. We don't know how he's gonna do. We may not see them run in college, and if Quincy doesn't run in college, then we may not be able to see them go against each other until they go into the pros or something. But just a great, crazy time, and being able to take down Quincy with what he did just last week at the Penn Relays with the 43.99. I mean, his confidence got to be through the roof right now for the rest of the year.
Absolutely, bro. So congrats to him. He been running special times for over a year and a half, because he had a good indoor season last year, I believe, too. Um, but yeah, shout out to him. But I had a question. Were you there at the race or no?
I was at Penn. I unfortunately wasn't at this race, so I watched the video of him go, but unfortunately I wasn't able to. I really wanted to, though.
So I watched the video of the race. Did you see anything in this race, like anything in particular that might have stuck out to you in this race?
What was interesting to me is that usually that Quincy has been able to finish extraordinarily strong from what I've noticed in these races. And while you're slowing down, because no one's picking up speed at the end of 400, it's just who can slow down the slowest, really. And Quincy is usually has a really strong end of that race to be able to catch up to people and separate, because it's usually a little bit closer than you would like for that first 200. Like I remember in that 500 when he was racing Andrew Slavondan, who was also in this race. It was very close, and then he wasn't able to pull away. Same with the 400 indoor 400 against him as well. So I think that's kind of what I noticed, that he didn't really pull away at all, which was not really like him that I've noticed.
So I asked that question because I figured you would have seen what I saw, but it looked hurt, like not like he's injured, but it looked like he was straining. more so than he typically would. We know Quincy has a bit of a wild form, but that was a bit of a strain from him that I saw at that time. So it could have just been, he wasn't expecting to be tied up that late in a race. He might have thought he had more space to separate or something like that. The race didn't go the way he had planned it, so he might have tightened up. But I think that's something to keep an eye on for the rest of the season. We've been saying it for months. A lot of internet coaches have been saying it for months that they're a bit concerned with the frequency of races that Quincy has been running. Now, he kind of dialed it down, I guess, over the last month, but this could potentially be the unraveling of that. And I hope not. I'm not trying to say that it is, but it was definitely a glaring speculation that I made while watching that race for sure.
Yeah, and I guess from what I've chatted, because I chatted with his coaches, and I got to talk to Quincy very briefly, not too much during
Yeah.
Penn relays, and like yeah, in the video that I did, yeah, Coach Lee is like, hey, like there's a lot of doubters, and there's a lot of people like saying like, oh, he's racing, like saying he's racing too much and he's doing all this. He's like, yeah, this is the second race that he's done. Like it's I think a lot of people have said, oh, from what I gathered from Coach Lee is yeah, a lot of people are thinking that he's racing too much because he is the highest profile high school athlete that we've ever seen. When other high school phenoms were running, like when Sydney McLaughlin was running in high school, ain't nobody was talking about all the dual meets that she was probably doing because they weren't as televised as what they were. Like he is he's the most scrutinized high school runner. So it's like it's gonna seem like it because it's like it happens all the time. It's like when people are like, oh, plane crashes happen all the time. It's like, oh, because you see them on the news. Like it's the safest form of travel. It's just about every single one of them because they're so infrequent. You don't know about all the car accidents that happen, but you know about every single airplane crash because they're very infrequent. And so that's what I kind of think it is here of, yeah, it feels like it's a lot because he's the biggest thing and every time that he races compared to, hey, how many times has Jaden Horton Mims raced? I don't know. Like I'm not as aware because people aren't following that schedule nearly as closely.
Yeah, you ate, bro.
There you go. Except I had to come through with some stuff, but what I will say is I do think that this year he's going through a lot more adversity in my like track and field adversity than he did last year, which seems in my estimation, I would say it's definitely a good thing. Where sophomore year, you go undefeated through pretty much everything, and you didn't really have any expectations for you at all. The fact that you came through this, it's just like this is all icing on the cake. This year, there's a microscope on this kid, and he's racing against much better talent. And he's racing, in these high profile meets, and he's losing. I mean, he lost in the indoor 400 at USA's. He lost in this 400 meters against Jaden Horton Mims. Like he lost in the 4x4 against the Jamaicans. And it's helpful, I think, to learn how to, because in order to learn how to win, I feel like you have to learn how to lose, and that can help him, I'm sure, in the future as he looks to bounce back.
Absolutely, bro. I'm right there with you for sure. Just build a little bit more adversity and build more character and more resilience, more dog. Before he leaves the high school ranks for sure.
Is there any in your career? Is there any loss that you would say you have in your head that built you up, like where you're like you learned a lot from it and maybe it motivated you for the next thing, or one where you're like, nah, like losing that helped me more than maybe a potential win? Is there anything that you can notice of a notable loss in your career?
Yeah, I was getting beat around. Pause. I was getting beat on the track a lot in my freshman year, my very first season. Like I lost like 3 races, and that shit just kind of like it sat with me in a bad way. Kind of just up my intensity, up my relentlessness, up my will to work. I'm not even gonna name the people that beat me because they don't deserve airtime. But I just lost a few times my freshman year, and it kind of turned me to a different beast.
There you go. Changing around. Not the 4x4 at the championships though. Sent that video.
I did what I had to see. That was because I did that because of what had happened the previous year, right? So yeah.
There you go. Now that's a cool video. It's still on YouTube to this day. So if anyone watching, Go back and see it. You can find Mac. You just got to watch all like 6 hours of that video.
Yeah, bro. That's nasty work.
Yeah. Not some good performances from this week. Any other good things that we had going on from in the track world?
Sabine ran well out there in China. Kashane ran well as well. He got second. What did they run 9? They both run 9.9.
Yeah, I think Shane did. I think he did that. Yeah.
So good job to both of them. Other than the Grand Slam performers, Melissa ran well. Sydney obviously ran incredibly well. Gabby ran well. But I think we covered it mostly. I think we got most of the biggest performances of the weekend.
Sydney running the 1 and the 100 hurdles at Philly Diamond League. So not Diamond, Philly Grand Slam. So that's going to be big. Finally getting challenged because it's been she's just received a free 200 grand for the first 2 meets. And then so now it's all right, time to lock in. She was a minus 10,000 favorite going into this. What's the point of even allowing people to bet at that point? Like what, like why do you even have that? It was just like crazy work of how dominant she's been. So gonna get tested for the first time this season in that off event. So I'll be excited for that. That should be good. That should be good. International Athlete of the Week. Who you got?
International Athlete of the Week. See, I thought it was gonna be one person, but it's gonna be another. International Athlete of the Week is going to Masai Russell, new American record holder in the 60 hurdles. She's been grinding for this. She's been working for it. She's been consistent all year. We got it printed out in the back. If you hear my printer is going right now, it goes on voice command. We'll get that sent out there to Lexington to you. Keep it up this season. You're doing a great job.
There you go. Congrats, Masai Russell. I think that's her first International Athlete of the Week. We got to start tracking like, hey, how many of these athletes won? And so we can see by the end of we got to get that, because then by the end of the year we have to have who was the International Athlete of the Year. Who had the most international athletes of the week. So we got to go back and get a list going down so we can see who it's going to be. So that'd be good. That'd be good.
Like it, bro. You're thinking on your toes.
Trying to. So good stuff. Thank you to everyone for listening. It's been another episode of Track World News Podcast. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Have a good one. Peace.